deploying now.
Alright, you have seen it in action, now let's talk about it briefly. The Leynos Mobile Armor, or Cataphract. We are in the endgame here, but you can achieve similar results to this thing as long as you have the C-Stim Dispatcher, which allows you to send recreational pink stuff, this stuff, directly into your pilot's eyeballs, giving you a 200% time dilation increase, a cool slowdown mechanic allowing you to dodge projectiles that can trigger up to every 6 seconds. For 1 second at a time, you take 10% more damage, but your damage goes up by 10%. It's pretty great. Let's cover the remaining hull mods. Anti-beam coat effectively reduces beam damage by 60%. Survive a tachyon lance hit. Maybe. If you're using the ship's built-in damper field, this effect goes up to 70%. Rugged construction, my favorite hull mod. You know exactly what this does. Reduces effects of negative demods by 50%. If destroyed or disabled in combat, the ship has a 50% chance to avoid new demods. In addition, the supply cost to recover the ship from deployment is reduced by 50%. Strikecraft hull mod, unique to Arma Armatura, and it's on basically all of the small single crew frigates or mobile armors that are available. Most importantly, can maneuver over asteroids and other vessels unless flamed out. Most weapons can fire over or through allied ships. No zero flux speed boost. Combat readiness goes down 50% faster. Docking at a carrier replenishes peak performance time, armor, hull, and ammo. Benefits from any bonuses that might affect frigates. Downside, you will receive up to 25% more bonus damage from being hit by point defense. Look for the little triangles on enemy ships. Honestly, I didn't even realize that existed until just now, and I've been playing this ship for a few days. Targeting Disruptor increases the damage you receive from frigates and destroyers by 20% and 10% respectively. However, decreases damage received from cruisers and capitals by 10% and 20% respectively, and reduces auto-aim accuracy by up to 20% based on proximity. I still do not know if this reduces enemy auto-aim accuracy or my auto-aim accuracy. It tends not to matter because I'm so close to the enemy. The important thing is taking 20% less damage from capital ships throwing all their point defense at you is great. Thermoflux Drive. Downing enemy fighters increases your flux capacity, non-missile fire rate, and dissipation by up to 10%. Additionally, 3% of fighters' max HP is restored to this ship's hull. So we have hull healing, and we have bonus dissipation and rate of fire and capacity. That is hilarious. So, for the built-in weapons on this thing, we have the bazooka and the crusher. I'm not quite sure. By mousing over, I am struggling to find stats on the bazooka, but I have the crusher. Range 900, decent flux to damage ratio, fire rate of 0.7, and really good chunk and damage to armor. And the codex does not have any information on the bazooka either. In fact, what seems to be on my left arm is not called a bazooka, it's called a TS-03 mine launcher. It launches 4 projectiles, that then trigger based on a timed or proximity fuse. Crusher cannon, combined with the mine layer, combined with the assault chain gun mounted in the Leynos' chest, will allow you to deal massive damage up close. Further augmenting our hilarious amount of damage is safety overrides. You know what this does. We go faster, we get better flux stats. However, our peak performance goes down really fast, and our combat readiness does too. Auxiliary thrusters, allowing for extreme maneuverability, which lets us keep our guns pointed at the enemy even as we zip around them like a deadly tiny bug. Finally, emergency recall device. Immediately recalls the ship to the nearest carrier when receiving an attack that would destroy it. This only works once, but it's really handy because if you dash the wrong way in this thing, you will just slam into missiles or a hellbore and explode. So I think it's worth the 8 ordnance points. There is something I didn't cover because I just moused over it and totally spaced out, which is the Cataphract S2 built-in, which I have S-modded. There's a lot of stuff here. Notably, you get bonus EMP resistance, your weapons are less likely to be disabled. This ship provides a bonus to ground ops, which may matter depending on your playstyle. But most importantly is the S-mod bonus. Increased dissipation, turn rate, and auto-fire accuracy by 2% per pilot level. Current increases 30%. Increased rate of fire by 1% per pilot level, for a total 15%, and increased deployment costs by 30%. Which, yes, this bumps us up from a 7-point deployment cost to a whole 9. Oh no. And of course, the Cataphract S2 built-in is most effective on yourself as a captain. You'll note here I don't really have a whole lot of skills. What is reactive motion sheath and how did I get it? When did I get this? I have no idea when I got this, but cool. Increased flux dissipation, 14%, capacity by 9%, reduces damage taken by shields when flux is over 80%, speed increases by 30%, rapidly degrading over 3 seconds. Can only trigger once every 8 seconds. I really don't know how I got reactive motion sheath. If you guys have played Arma Armatura a lot, please let me know when I unlocked this and how. The only other skill in my personal loadout here is gunnery implants, which I mainly took so that I could provide 4% ECM rating to the fleet, but bonus range and bonus auto-fire accuracy is pretty cool. Last few things to cover, there is an anti-missile weapon system built in, which is just a single, functionally a burst laser with 360-degree coverage, very nice, but will not save you from being swarmed by a large locust launcher. There's only one regular weapon slot on this ship, and in it, I have placed an assault chain gun. You could choose other things, this is just my personal preference, because I like to play up close and personal. So that's the Leynos. You've seen it in action, I've covered the build. Of course, this isn't the only way to build it. I suppose I can show you one other variant. So here we have Dawn, who is a unique officer that you can acquire through the Arma Armatura mod. But this build, I have prioritized blast doors and reinforced bulkheads so that she has as much hull as possible. Why? Because she doesn't have the built-in recall system. What she does have is allies. The Fenris standard carrier specifically has a recall device. teleports a single vessel in need that has the Strikecraft hull mod back to the carrier, allowing them to be quickly refitted and relaunched, which in many cases will repair a certain amount of hull and combat readiness. So this NPC-piloted Leynos prioritizes hull so that it is less likely to instantaneously explode, and it buys the ship a few more seconds to be recalled by the Fenris in the context of how the whole fleet goes together. But once again, we have the C-Stim Dispatcher, we have the Bazooka and the Crusher Cannon, we have Thermoflux Drive, and Targeting Disruptor. Hardened Subsystems needs no introduction, allows the ship to function for longer, and lastly we have the HIMAC Maneuver System, which I will demonstrate briefly. So the HIMAC system, I didn't think the AI would be able to use it, but under player hands it's also pretty good. You just double tap a movement key in a direction and you'll do these little directional dashes. And if you double tap W to go forward, you'll charge up and do this cool burn drive effect. You see it has a little charge meter there. Be careful once that runs out. And if you try and activate this while you have no charge meter, let's see if we can do it. I thought it would flame me out, but I guess not. It just runs out. Oh, there it goes. I tried to tap D for the side dash, and because the meter was too low, we flamed out. So there's a downside to using the HIMAC maneuverability system, but the AI seems to be coded to use it perfectly, and I've never seen an NPC-piloted Strikecraft flame out using it. So how do we get all of this stuff? How is it all unlocked? Well, very briefly, if you're wondering how to get Dawn as an officer, you will need to travel to the Gamlin system, right here, go to New Machan, and go to the bar. There will be a yellow text message there, which will lead to dialogue with her, and you can gain her as a contact, do missions for her, and she will eventually offer to join your crew as an officer. If you're wondering where to buy a Leynos, it's the same deal. Just go to New Machan. They're normally on sale for 40 to 50,000 credits. As to some of the more unique hull mods, once you proceed far enough in Arma Armatura's storyline, you will gain this event progress meter. As you can see, I've maxed it out because I've been doing a lot of testing. The most important thing is actually the first unlock, because that gives you C-Stim Dispatcher, which kind of enables most of the build, and Thermoflux Drive, and Targeting Disruptor. So, highly recommend if you want to put together a Leynos like this that you at least get to the 200 points of progress here, unlock those. The rest is kind of optional. At 400 points, you get bonus flux capacity and dissipation and shield efficiency. Leynos doesn't have a shield, so don't worry about that part. And then as you go, there are a few unique ships. There's some stuff you can do with AI cores, which I have not done. And all the way to 1,000 points, there is the HIMAC maneuverability system unlock and the emergency recall device, both of which have been shown here. But they are not necessary to make this ship function. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Leynos. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will catch you all in the next one. I'll be back with more Arma Armatura ships once I have gotten some experience playing them. This is the one I have spent the most time driving, and it has been a very fun journey so far. Alright, thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you like. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.